at the end of the day, when you winning championships, they're going to have people that don't want you to win a championship because they on the other team. And it just is what it is. It's life. It's everybody's Super Bowl to either be able to beat us or to say something that doesn't allow us to get to where we want to be. You got to focus on the people that you got inside your organization, inside your business, the people that are supporting you, and worry about that and worry about what y'all can control rather than the things that we can't control. Because the media, people, everybody gonna have something to say regardless because everybody looking for a story. All right, welcome back to the channel. All right, y'all can see it right now. We're about to have a live podcast. We're going to be covering everything you need to know when first starting your brand. We're going to be dialing in deep on all the mind transformation that we talk about that you need to apply to your brand, all right? And who we with today?
Simsboro FBLA.
Make sure y'all check into that video, like, subscribe to the channel, run us up. What's good? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Marlon Watts, co-owner and CEO of WRLDINVSN.
Hey, I'm Nicholas Clark, co-owner and designer of WRLDINVSN.
We have a live audience today inside the warehouse at the podcast studio. We got the FBLA club from Simsboro High School. They're going to be asking us questions. So I need everybody to make sure y'all tune in from start to finish. Make sure you like, subscribe to the channel, run us up 1 million on the way, all right?
Hey, look, we about to have some nice questions from the audience. So without further ado, we just gonna get straight into it with our first question. Let's get it.
Hey, my name is Kimara McCarter. I wanted to know what was the backstory of your World Vision, like the brand name?
So actually, it was actually called World Invasion at first. So we would basically start spelling it short, where Nick came up with everything besides the I, and when we got to Ruston, everybody would read it as WRLDINVSN, WRLDINVSN. And so we basically would be battling people, telling them, no, it's not WRLDINVSN, it's World Invasion. And then one day we really just turned to each other and was like, you know what, it actually sounds better. So let's go with WRLDINVSN. And throughout that process, we started to realize that we wanted to allow people, that we wanted to inspire other people to trust in their vision. And then WRLDINVSN started to just make even more sense to us. And this was something that we came up when we was 14. So the logo, we made that when we was 14 with the WI. And now we just, happy that we went along with what our customers say, because we tell people all the time, like, you aren't your brand. The people in the community is your brand. And a lot of times when you get your brand started, you tend to be in your way about how you want things. And that sometimes prohibits you from growing because your audience and your community are going to tell you what they want and what they like. And that's the people that you're actually serving.
We didn't know how to, pretty much we didn't even know what we was doing. So we just came up with a random name and we just started doing the business because we just wanted to make money. That's what it first, what it was at the beginning. So like Marlon said, it was WRLDINVSN. And then next thing you know, like, we always wanted our brand to be bigger than like just local. So we always start big. If you look at the WI, like, it remind you of like a designer brand. So like what Marlon's saying, as people start saying WRLDINVSN, we just felt at the moment that would be a bigger brand. But as we started to keep growing, we knew that was the perfect name for the company because we just want everybody to trust in their vision. Appreciate that. A good question, too.
All right, what's good? I'm sorry I got to interrupt this video, but we giving a lot of game right now, and I'm giving you an opportunity to join our AYV University for only $7, all right? So we're going to be giving you a 7-day all-access pass inside of our university. Literally right here, we giving so much game. Y'all enjoyed that game?
Yeah.
Appreciate that. And what we need them to do?
Activate your vision.
All right, go ahead on and click the link in the description. Go ahead and try that trial out.
My name's Trent Buzz. My first question is, why did y'all choose Atlanta for your warehouse location out of like all the different places in the United States?
I start with just like, so we really started with just like, bro, just me and Marlon. So like everything that y'all just seen on that video, like how we was tagging the shirts, folding the shirts, like me and Marlon was doing all that, like from making a design to putting the tag on the sleeve, every single thing. And then how we got our first team members was like, we just asked our friends to come help us, and we just bought them lunch. Like, they were just helping just to help. And like, as we grew the company, like, we just noticed how many systems, it take to actually like have everybody knowing what they need to do. Like, as y'all watched on the video, like we came up with everything from nothing. Like, we didn't have anybody to teach us this stuff. This just us just figuring it out as we went. So like, as we continuously grew the brand, we noticed that like, a lot of our focus is leaning into like just managing the team, when it should be what we started out with was just creating content, doing stuff like this, like being out in the community, focusing on better products. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to not just bring it to Atlanta because it's Atlanta, but bring it to a place where somebody could be also hands-on with it more than us. So one of our great friends that we was growing our brand with throughout the time, we wasn't business partners, we was just friends. And he noticed a problem in a lot of, brands like us. When we get to a certain level, it's so many like smaller problems, in the day-to-day operations. Like you got to make sure people are on time. You got to make sure people not leaving work early. Like you have to manage all those people. So we took it to Atlanta so he could help us out with the management part of the whole warehouse. So instead of me and Marlon have to worry about, what order got shipped today, like we really just get to meet with that one person so we could ask him, hey, did everything get shipped out and he good? So he's really that middle person between us and like having a bunch of, team members in front of us, if that makes sense. We want to be not outside that business, but we want to be less hands on that business so we could focus on what we need to, have our hands on. So not just Atlanta because it's Atlanta, all right? Atlanta because it makes sense. What we got next?
Okay, my name is Jacoya Lewis, and my question is, what influenced y'all to want to start your own business?
So I'd say it was the influence of other people. So when I was growing up, I went from public school to private school, and when I went from it was called Capdo to St. Augustine High School, it was just a different type of people, like different type of things that they was doing, and they had other people who were already starting brands prior to us actually starting our brand. And before we actually got to starting the clothes, we saw other people also making money selling candy and iPhone accessories at school. So that's how we started. And then we was buying the other people's clothes that was starting their brands. And so we was like, you know what, we could probably do this ourselves. And then that's when we started creating designs on custom ink, Uber prints, and getting them in and literally just selling them. And so we actually didn't know that it was entrepreneurship. We were just trying to make some money so that we wouldn't have to ask our people for nothing, because the answer was no 9 times out of 10. So it wasn't just us wanting to be entrepreneurs. It was just really us wanting to be independent, and it just so happened turned out to be entrepreneurship.
I got a question. Raise your hand if who in here like to make money? All right, who in here is competitive? Right, so we became entrepreneurs and business owners because, first of all, we wanted to make money, and second, we wanted to like compete at the highest game possible. And then through that, like what's gonna happen is you're gonna realize that, like, the thing that you was thinking at the beginning, oh, I'm doing this for money, you're gonna realize how many people you impact, and you're gonna notice that the impact was really the thing that brought you the income. So like now our whole focus is like how many more people can we impact? Because at the end of the day, like those are the people that's gonna be your number one day one supporters. But like those two combinations at the beginning, like that's what made us want to be business owners. So it might be it might be a lot of business owners in here because y'all all raise your hand saying y'all like making money and y'all competitive.
My name is Mahogany Mosley. As we know, fashion change every day. So how do you make sure your style is still in the mix?
Boy, hey, that's what I'm going through right now, because like as I'm getting old, like we all getting older. So like as time moving, it ain't like I'm staying young, right? So it's like
Might look young though.
the more the more that time go on, I realize that I gotta connect myself with not probably the people that's in that world, but at least somebody that may have their hands in that world. So it may be like an influencer, right? That a lot of people watch. Y'all might watch. I can name so many YouTubers like right now that y'all may watch on YouTube. So if I at least got my finger on that post, then I can realize like what the market is looking like today. But I would say really it's just me just continuously doing what y'all doing. Like I gotta watch YouTube and watch influencers because I gotta understand like what's actually happening right now at this time. And like you gotta be able to pivot fast, and you gotta like don't go too far away from your brand. Like keep your brand the same, but just add a little bit of that influence to it. Don't like you was coming up with you had some classy polos and you was the classy fit, and then now you doing the distress, like you doing cut off, all like that's not your brand, right? You could still take some of that influence and you could still build it on top of the brand that you built. So I would say like it's just me, just my everyday life, just noticing certain things, noticing certain patterns, seeing certain people wearing certain things that I probably would never thought I would have wore. Even wearing some of them things sometimes I might wear a cut-off tee, you get what I'm saying? Like, just to be in that world. But I really just got to keep my finger on the pulse by, being in that world, really. and noticing those patterns.
My name is Jakiria Abney. So how long did it take for y'all to establish y'all's company?
So I would say our brand grew the most once we graduated college. That was from 2018 to now. But we started our brand in 2010 when we was back in high school. But we call it, that was our hobby at the time because we really wasn't taking it serious. And it wasn't until we actually got in the Business Accelerator program that we realized the mission behind our business was that we wanted to provide original designs and branded fashion to urban youth who feel stagnant and trapped by what their environment tells them what they can and cannot do. And once we realized that mission, it gave us a whole new drive. And that's when we really started to see a real difference in the company. That's when we really started to go out and do pop-up shops more consistently. When we started to share our story, when we started to really grow it. And then once we left college, we went into the business full time. We went back down to New Orleans, opened up 3 kiosk locations, started scaling up online, and even the video y'all saw today built the business up to having 55 people when we was 24 years old. So that's been a real roller coaster, but it hasn't really grown until we went into the business full time. A lot of times, what we realized was that we were only giving it a percentage. We was going to school, I was playing sports, we was doing the business. And it wasn't until anybody gives something 110% that you're really gonna see the results that you want.
And not like just hopping off the porch, just giving it 100%. You gotta have a plan and you gotta hit a goal so you could be able to go do it 100%. But I like that, going in all in.
My name is Jakayla, and I wanted to know what was income like before the start of your business?
So when we was in high school, I literally I don't think I saved $1,000 until I graduated college. Like I thought $1,000 was like a whole lot of money, and I still do at times. And what it was for us is like realizing that this was something that we actually can pay ourselves from. So it wasn't until we graduated college that we did our first big festival, and that was Essence Festival, and we ended up doing like $14,000, $18,000 within that weekend. And at that point, we realized that this was something that we can actually do, and that was the beginning of us starting to pay ourselves. And I'm talking a whole lot of money, talking about $500 every 2 weeks. So I started making $1,000 every month, but we was living here in Ruston, and we was living together, so we split the rent. And so we were still able to basically pay all our bills and still have a little money left over. And that was the point, the pivotal point where we actually believed in what we was doing, was able to survive off of it, and now we was able to start growing that.
Yeah, I gotta add a story in because he didn't say this before. We worked at the movies. So I worked at the movies in New Orleans, that was my only job I had. And I was trying to get doubles. I was doing everything in my power to work. He played football, so he couldn't really work, but the movies management was so cool with me that they'll just let me just pretty much choose my schedule. So then I was like, man, I got one of my boys want to get on, but he won't work after practice so he could make him some bread. So practice would get out at like 7, and then he'll have to get that 6, and then he'll have to get that at like 7 to close, which would be like 7 to 11. Man, I got him on. And I literally be working all day till he come, and then we'll close together. But that was really how we started making our first piece of change. And then we had to go to college. So in college, bro, I was doing designs, right? So I'm breaking it all the way down to you. I was doing designs. Me and Lou was just doing flyers, cover art. Y'all know how these rappers be having these cover arts. I used to charge $15 for that until I was able to charge $50. I was making good money, hundreds of dollars a day, at least $1,000 a week, right, doing that. But it was all going into my day-to-day life because I didn't actually have a real job. I was just pretty much hustling doing that. But then me and Marlon had got on flipping clothes and shoes in college. So y'all know the brand called Supreme? All right, so we used to buy Supreme with it was a Supreme bot. We was real deal, whatever we get our hands on, we're going to flip it, make some money, the legal way as possible. So we'll have this, we'll buy, these Supreme clothes, and then we'll be selling them for more money, Bape, Supreme, Jordans. We'll just buy all that stuff, and then we'll flip it. But then we was just noticing we was spending all our money on clothes. We were spending all our time doing this stuff, and we could be just selling our own product. And one day we really had got all our stuff stolen, and then we really started reading this book called Rich Dad Poor Dad, and that really introduced our mind and helped us figure out like more about finances. And that's what really helped us go all in on the business. We did that pop-up shop, made $500, and then it was just up from there.
My name is Brooklyn, and I was wondering like what type of problems y'all had when y'all first started y'all's business.
I kind of go in some phases at least. First starting, it was really just believing. Like a lot of times you have an idea and you really just don't really believe. And it was times where we talk about it, like we cried for this, to be in the position that we in. Like I'm saying, like multiple occasions at parties, like on car rides, like wanting to be successful so bad that, you know, we would be emotional about it. And you have to have that same like passion and drive about whatever it is that you want as well. Then once you actually getting it, it's about like maintaining it. And now that, you know, we seeing success, it's like our business is here, but we are here. So we still have to equip ourselves with the information, knowledge, and resources that we need to get to where our business is as well. And then once you get that, now it's about actually having other people. So now it's to the point where we have other team members, and now we have to be the leaders. We talk about managing and leading. So now we got to manage this stuff, which is good. But now once you get to where you managing stuff, to take it to the next level, you got to lead it, because you can't always be reacting. Like if we want to develop what the brand going to be in the next 5 years, we got to lead that, because we actually already doing what we want to do now. And so that's been, I would say right now, what we currently working on is leading the organization to where we wanted to be for the next 3, 5 to 10 years.
So my name is Jalen Owley, and considering y'all been in the game for a really long time, since like the early 2010s and like the business industry, I was wondering, like, since myself, I'm an entrepreneur, I do photography, what would be the biggest piece of advice like you've learned since y'all been in the game for so long, like if you could give to like a person?
Well, I got a couple. First is going to be invest in yourself. And what I mean by that is, like, it may not be money. It may be time. It may be skills. It may be relationships. It may be environment. Like, you have to truly understand, like, what you want, and you got to start investing in that today. The second thing is going back to it. Now it's about information. So how much, like, you going to only change based off how much information that you get. We go to school and you pass so that way you can keep going up in the grades. It's the same way with your business. You got to keep going up and keep getting information and keep accomplishing new things entrepreneurial-wise and skill-wise, so that way you can continue to elevate yourself. And then the last thing, which we all struggle with, is like understanding your time. Like, and that time isn't money. Like, you want to use your money to make time. So what I mean by that is, like, you may be utilizing your time right now to acquire skills, to build out stuff. But once you do that, you now want to use the money that you get from using your time to allow you to buy more time. So it may be you can only do so much, but you want to expand your business to worldwide. Now, how can you utilize other people, and maybe you pay them, but you can still get a shoot done in LA from your brand? So now it's going to be creatively figuring out how do you utilize that money and time to be able to get yourself more time and more money.
Yeah, bro, it's so crazy because like if obviously if God said the same, like you gonna be here, right? Like for the next 10 years, like you gonna be living the life that you living, right? But like you gotta realize that you got 10 years. How old you is? You 17, right? So I'm like, you got 10 years, you know, to basically y'all looking at 10 years ahead of y'all right now, right? So I'm basically talking to myself 10 years ago. So like investing more like is so important because like, bruh, like success is happening around you right now. Like, you know, it may not be, you know, what the success that you want, but it's simultaneously happening like around you. So when it comes down to investing, and like Marlon saying, your time, you know, the people you hanging out with, like that's so important because like with us, we got on stocks when we was sophomores in college, right? And I remember I had put like my refund on the stock market and I thought I knew what I was doing. I had bought like a penny stock and it just went, I put like $2,000, $3,000 on it and it just went down. Like that was all my money. It just went to the ground because I knew that that's what the game that the big people was playing. So I want to play that game too. Lost all my money. But it took me all the way to this time to realize if you never sell, you really don't lose. So if you invest right now into anything, like as long as you don't quit, you don't give up, you gonna be successful at it. You get what I mean? Like it's cause is in your nature to figure it out if that's something that you actually want to do. Now, if you actually don't want to do it, you probably gonna let it go. But like if you really want to do it, it's gonna be in your natural God-given power to figure it out. So I would like literally put all the stuff that don't really contribute to where you see yourself at in 10 years, and I just let it go. Because you only got a certain percentage. Like it's like a battery. Like once you max out, you max out. So it's a percentage in there that's really you don't really need. You get what I mean? Like so you gotta get that percentage out so you can max out in the on the path that you want to get to in the next 10 years. That's so important, bro. Like that's like super important. And I hope that's not like over nobody's head, but just start right now. Like start right now.
And what he's saying is just like depositing those good habits, depositing those things that you want to work on into yourself. Like you may not be 100% right now because who we are to who we want to be is two different things. And it's a journey to actually get there. And what we saying is you may be having to take out substituting music for audiobooks, and that gonna bring your bar up 10%. Then you may substitute, just going play basketball just regularly to now going on a run and walking and maybe developing your business. So it's gonna be things that you do already within your day that you may need the substitute of to continue to raise your bar so that way you can get to that 100%. That's what he's saying now. All right, man, if you're enjoying this video, make sure you like, subscribe to the channel, run us up, check the description, all right? Man, we answering live questions right now on how to get your brand started. And if you somebody that's just getting your brand started, looking to reach your first $1,000, $2,500, in the description, we got our $7 trial to join our AYV University. Go check it out.
After you guys made your logo, what was the next steps in the process to like become successful?
All right, what's good? I'm sorry I got to interrupt this video, but we giving a lot of game right now, and I'm giving you an opportunity to join our AYV University for only $7, all right? So we're going to be giving you a 7-day all-access pass inside of our university. Literally right here, we giving so much game. Y'all enjoyed that game? Yeah. Appreciate that. And what we need them to do?
Activate your vision.
All right, go ahead on and click the link in the description. Go ahead, try that trial out.
So a lot of the stuff that y'all see right now that was like successful, like for like this WI logo, we got like a Jesus tee. Like we made that when we was like y'all age, right? But we really didn't know, like we like, man, is people gonna like this? I don't know. Like we really didn't start producing until maybe years later because we didn't actually know, people would like it. But if you got a logo or idea, first you can make your logo on something easy like nowadays is Canva, right? You can make Canva. I actually like Adobe Photoshop. So if you was able to learn Adobe Photoshop or Adobe Illustrator, that's really what the big boys are, they using that software. Once you make your logo, like all you got to do is you could go on Google and type in local screen printer, right? Local screen printer. Like don't worry about no Cricut machine. Don't worry about, go straight to what the big guys doing. This is what we be doing. Go straight to the screen printer. You say, hey, this is my logo. I want to put this on a shirt, right? Now, what they going to do for you at that time is they'll order the shirts for you, print it on you. They'll have it for you as long as you pay them. But then when you start going to the next level, you can start ordering your own shirts from online. So you can go online, type in wholesale blank t-shirts. Now you start figuring out, there's so many different brands. You're going to start learning which brand to go to. And then you just get your first initial, goods, and you just start from there. And you just let people know you're serious by having it. If you don't have the money to get it, like it don't take thousands of dollars to start. Let's just say it might take you $250, right? Like you could call 10, you could hit up 10, 10 of your family members. Hey, can I, get, a $25 investment to the business? In return, you're going to get this shirt. If you could get at least 10 people to commit to $25, right? And you're going to give them this shirt in exchange, guess what? You got $250. That $250 should at least be able to get you double the shirts. So like 20. So at least you'll have that extra 10 to like sell, and now you got profit. Now you basically took their $250, made $500, gave them their investment back by giving them the product. Now you got $250 to go on your own. That would be the first thing I would do. That's just straight off your muscle, off your, your network. Don't have nothing to do with social media. Don't have nothing to do with anything but what you're able to have right now with the power of you and the people around you.
Yep. And then the next thing, when you just getting started, specifically in apparel, I wouldn't recommend throwing your logo on the shirt as the first design. Why? Because people don't really know what your logo is nor what it stands for. We're easily influenced to go buy Gucci or Louis Vuitton and it has the logo on there. Why? Because everybody know what that logo is. Everybody know that you paid some money for it. So, but when you're wearing something that's a little bit unfamiliar, people may stay away from it because it's a status thing. People want to wear stuff that gives them status. So what we recommend is creating a design or imagery that explains what your brand is all about. That way you can add the story until when you're selling your product and you instead of you having a cool logo or just getting your brand started, you're able to tell them, this is the design I have, this is what it means, and this is what I'm doing, which is gonna allow people to support your brand a little bit easier than just slapping your logo on there and nobody really knows what it is because you haven't gave your logo meaning yet.
Do y'all be seeing like it'd be like a monster tee? Let me make sure. It'd be like a face on the shirt. Like it'd be like I think it'd be calling like a monster tee. Y'all be seeing that on TikTok? Like you see how like that shirt, everybody easily see it. You might not know the specific brand, but because they created that design, like you at least got some type of picture in your mind about it. Now it's up to you to continuously get them to come back, to the brand and figure out what that brand is through putting that design out first and then building out your brand on the back end.
I was wondering what design softwares do you all use, and how long did it take you to master each one?
Yeah, so like I was saying, like you could use Canva. I'm not against it whatsoever, but Adobe Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator, Adobe products in general, you can make anything. Like you can make like whatever you think about in your mind. Like you could start with a shape and you could turn the shape into a whole art piece pretty much. So I would say using one of those softwares, even as like if you know how to draw, you could draw and then you could upload it to the computer and then you could edit it inside of there. But it took me a long time, bro. Long story short, it took me since at the same time as I was doing the brand, 10 years. It took me 10 years to do that software and actually know like how to use that software and go as fast as I know how to go. 10 years, bro.
And then for me, I look at myself as a designer as well. It may not be like t-shirts, but we design systems, processes, and stuff for the team members to actually use. And just as and we use, Google Drive, PowerPoint, Word, Notion to design stuff for the company to continue to be built on. So when people coming in, they have, actual processes to go to that we may not have had, before. And what I mean by that is we had to design a system for us to know if people was doing their goals or not, because we would come in and look and say, dang, you only did 2 boxes, it's been 4 hours. So we needed to design something. We had to think about what we wanted to do for people to start checking. So we made something on a whiteboard where when you was done, you had to come and check it off. Then it was like, okay, how do we elevate that? Now we need to design something where now they just got a sheet of paper so that way they don't have to get up on the board. They check off what they're doing. They provide it to their manager. The manager now implement that information into Excel spreadsheet that we designed to calculate everything so that way we could get that information. So just as important as designing your brand's designs as well, you're going to need to also design the processes and systems that your brand run to make it successful as well.
Okay, my name is Charity Willis, and the question that I have is what did y'all start with, like from equipment to how much money y'all start with, the area that y'all started with, like within that area?
So we literally just started with 12 shirts and $120. We didn't have any equipment. We went on custom ink and Uber prints, and it was a design site where you can make your designs and they get it in. And then from there, we went to Google Academy, YouTube University, and we was just Googling how to start a clothing brand. And they told us that we needed to go to our local screen print shop. So that's what we did. And from there, it was just all trial and error. Now that we had product, it was just about selling it. And like I said, at that time, it was just a hobby. It wasn't until we got in the Business Accelerator program that we really started to get around other entrepreneurs and that we realized that it was actually possible and that a clothing brand was even a business. And how to make it a business. Because to us, having your LLC, having product, you in business, baby. But a lot of times we don't run it like it's a business. And that was the biggest thing that we really had to learn.
What goal you have set for your business over the next 10 years?
Transparently is something that we that we actually refocusing on right now. because I would say 3 to 5 years ago we had these conversations, and it's almost where like we accomplished those goals that we wanted, and now it's really about reshaping. Like ultimately, we know that we want our brand to be, successful and worldwide. We know that we want to be a household name, but right now we actually working on that new 10-year vision for ourselves. Now that we've been able to outsource our operations, I would say our current goal right now is to be able to produce the best content and as much content and hone in on our management and leadership within our organization currently. So I would say that's like our most prevalent goals that we're working on.
Yeah, and I even add to like the 10-year question. I would say we shorten our goals shorter than 10 years. Like it would be more of like a 2-year to 5-year, because like in 10 years, like COVID happened out of nowhere. You don't really know what happens in that like that long of a time. So really, I would say the 10-year goals come with the what we said earlier about the investment. Like when we invest in something, we look at that as 10 years from now that investment will be a powerful investment. But when it comes down to where we see the company, like I would say we do have times where we have shorter goals. It may be 3-month goals, 6-month goal, 1-year goal, 2-year goal, 5-year goal, because things could change so much. So you gotta be able to be pivotal to be able to make the company, go in the direction we want it to go in. But we see ourselves being a worldwide brand, all global.
My name is Kira, and I just want to know like how y'all stay affordable while also making sure you profit.
Affordable while still making sure we're profitable. So that was one of our biggest things, and how we do that is attacking our cost of goods. So a lot of people, when we ask them cost of goods or break even, they really don't know, but that's something that we focus on, knowing like how much do we have to make to break even, one, and then also what is our actual cost of goods, like how much are we actually getting product for, and what do we have to do to get the product lower. So one of the biggest things is economies of scale, that we realized the more that we got bigger, the cheaper things got. It costs more to stay small. And what I mean by that, if you was to get 10 shirts, and let's just say they charged you $10, you're gonna pay $100. But let's just say you go and get 100 shirts, they're gonna charge you $5, and that's gonna be $500. But in reality, you save $5 per unit. If you stayed small, you only would be able to get 50 shirts for $500. But the fact that you went big, you're now able to get 100 shirts for the same price if you kept going back and staying small. And now you have more shirts that you can actually sell. And then what we tell people is that when you scaling up, now that you went from 10 to 100, and you save $5 per unit, now you actually have a $5 wiggle room to add to other things, whether that's marketing, team building, that you didn't have in the future. So it's really all about staying affordable. For us was continuing to grow as big as we can possible.
Yep. 10x is always better than 2x. It's always better to do something 10 times as big than 2 times as big.
How would you guys describe your work ethic, like within the business and within like the environments at the manufacturer, the warehouses?
Our work ethic, I would say we super competitive for one. So like anything that we do, we're gonna do it to the best of our ability. I think one thing that Marlon helped me out with a lot is like doing things on the schedule, and doing things at a certain time. So I would say like for me, whenever I'm doing anything, it could be designing a thumbnail. Like I want to make it the best thumbnail possible. But Marlon helped me out because I can't design thumbnails all the time. I gotta be able to only do this at a certain time. So I would say like anything work ethic wise, anything that I do is gonna be the best. I'm gonna do the best that I could do at that time, and then just the intangibles is just being on time to the meetings as much as I can, and being inside the meetings, giving my feedback and giving my thought process on things that we should be doing.
I'd say just overall, like we committed to winning, and so when you committed to winning, your drive is just gonna be different. Like, and that's just winning all the way around the board. Whether that's getting to the airport, whether that's coming in here and meeting, whether that's playing ping pong. Like we just want to win at everything we do. So I think our work ethic comes off of the drive that we have to really be great and just win at everything that we do and continue to raise the level that's always around us. Because like, let's just say we great as one, but we greater together. And it's 5 people on the basketball court, and sometimes what we have to realize is that you're going to have to pass the ball and rely on somebody else to make that shot. And so you want to just make sure that you as an individual doing the things that you have to do to be able to even Like when you doing what you got to do, that's gonna help everybody else do what they got to do around you. So I think that that's just like the approach that we took with all of us literally growing this brand together since we've been young, is just continuing to feed off each other of wanting more and wanting more and knowing where we come from and where we actually want to be. Realizing that you never really arrive to where you want to be. If your goal to be a millionaire and then I say, okay, well, you know what, I might write you $1 million check right now. Then you're going to have another goal to get 2 million. So it don't matter after you reach your goals or you work hard as you want to accomplish what it is that you want to accomplish, you always going to go to the next part. And that's where we at. We never really comfortable at reaching our goals. When Kobe win a championship, he in the gym the next day. So that's the mentality I feel like we have, and which allows us to have the work ethic, because it starts with you and the way that you think about the way that you approach your profession. Like, we look at this as a profession. Like, we playing in the NFL and the NBA of business. And we understand that they got other people that's coming, getting drafted every single year, other brands that want to come and be number one as well. So you have to put that on yourself to continue to go out there and do the things that you got to do on a day-to-day basis and be that LeBron for your team, for your organization, for your family, and for yourself.
So starting off, y'all was more sensitive to the game. So how did y'all deal with the people that didn't want y'all to grow?
I feel like we don't really, like, we from New Orleans. Like, that's why I love wrestling, because it's just in the middle of nowhere. I get to be on I like peace. Like, I come from the Seven Water New Orleans, but I don't want no drama whatsoever. Like, so I block out any noise before I even give it any type of attention. So I would say I don't even really notice. I never even noticed anything of nobody trying to stop any of us on the way, because the whole focus was on doing what we was able to do in our own world, you know, and letting everybody else live in their own world. We just did, you know, us, and, you know, that's what allowed other people to gravitate towards that energy from my perspective. But I would say for anybody that is dealing with, you know, somewhere, you know, you start something and, you know, somebody may feel some type of way, or they don't really like it, or they say, this whack, this ain't gonna do nothing. I would say, like, it's some things that you could take in and make changes, but there's other things that you just gotta leave and throw out and just let them do it, say what they say, do what they do. But really, you shouldn't even have enough time to realize that that's done. All your time need to be on this right here. And that's how you're not even gonna know anything else that's going. That's why a long time ago, when I first started I ain't gonna say when I first started the brand, but when I really, really got into it, I deleted my Instagram. Like, I ain't have an Instagram for like 2 years, right? And those 2 years was when, like, the brand probably was the most flourishing, you know, 2 years ever, because, like, I didn't really have nothing else to do but to do the brand, because I wasn't worrying about nobody else.
And I say, I mean, you know, of course, for myself, we see comments and stuff that people leave, but at the end of the day, like, that everybody, what I realize is just everybody living in their own world and everybody dealing with stuff that they dealing with as well. And, you know, I don't fault anybody that leave any negative comments. We just continue to just use it to continue to fuel us to be great. It's just like, at the end of the day, when you winning championships, they're going to have people that don't want you to win a championship because they on the other team. And it just is what it is. It's life. Like, everybody wants to beat Alabama. And we take that same approach. We look at ourselves as Alabama, and it's everybody's Super Bowl to either be able to beat us or to say something that doesn't allow us to get to where we want to be. And that's just what it's going to be. So you got to work it. We call it the naysayers. You got to focus on the people that you got inside your organization, inside your business, the people that are supporting you, and worry about that and worry about what y'all can control rather than the things that we can't control. Because the media, people, everybody gonna have something to say regardless, because everybody looking for a story. We even do it. We see something on social media, we turn to our friend and say, girl, you saw this? That's just life. So you can't let that, you know, affect what you got going. All right, hey, we appreciate it. Hey, we just had a live session. If y'all enjoyed this video, make sure you like, subscribe to the channel, run us up, leave us a comment on, do y'all want more live podcasts? What city we should be visiting? Make sure you get the $7 trial. Once again, I'm Marlon Watts, co-owner and CEO of WRLDINVSN.
Yeah, I'm Nicholas Clark, co-owner and designer of WRLDINVSN, and we
out.